Bunty, of course, desired to help the cause as strongly as the others, and to that end his first action was to go to his bedroom and perform startling ablutions with his face, neck and hands. Then he took his soapy, shiny countenance and red, much bescrubbed hands downstairs, and sunned himself under his father's very nose, hoping to attract favourable comment. But he was bidden irritably, "Go and play," and saw he would have to find fresh means of appeasement. He wandered into the study, with vague thoughts of tidying the tidy bookshelves, but Pip was there, surrounded with books, and whittling a stick for a catapult. So he went out again. Then he climbed the stairs and explored his father's bedroom and dressing room. In the latter, there was a wide field for his operations. A full dress uniform was lying across a chair, and it struck Bunty the gold buttons were looking less bright than they should. So he spent a harmless quarter of an hour in polishing them up. Next, he burnished some spurs, which also was harmless. Then he eased about for fresh employment. There was quite a colony of dusty boots in one corner of the room, and there was a great bottle of black, treacly-looking varnish on the mantelpiece. Bunty conceived the brilliant idea of cleaning the whole lot and standing them in a neat row to meet his father's delighted eyes. He found a handkerchief on the floor, of superfine cambric, though dirty, poured upon it a liberal allowance of varnish, and attacked the first pair. A bright polish rewarded him, for they were patent leather ones. But the next and the next and the next would not shine, however hard he rubbed. There was a step on the stair, the firm, well-known step of his father, and he paused a moment with a look of conscious virtue on his small, shiny face. But it fled all at once, and a look of horror replaced it. He'd stuck the bottle on a great armchair for convenience as he was sitting on the floor, and now he noticed it had fallen on its side, and a black horrid stream was issuing from its neck. And it was the chair with the uniform on, and one of the sleeves was soaked with the stuff, and the beautiful white shirt that lay there too, waiting for a button, was sticky horrible. Bunty gave a wild, terrified look round the room for some place to efface himself, but there were no sheltering corners or curtains, and there was not time to get into the bedroom and under the bed. Near the window was a large-sized medicine chest, and in despair, Bunty crushed himself into it, his legs huddled up, his head between his knees, and an ominous rattle of displaced bottles in his ears. The next minute, his father was in the room. "Great heavens! God bless my soul!" he said, and Bunty shivered from head to foot. Then he said a lot of things very quickly, foreign language as Judy called it, kicked something over and shouted, "Esther!" in a terrifying tone. But Esther was down in one of the paddocks with the General, so there was no reply. More foreign language, more stomping about. Bunty's teeth chattered noisily. He put up his hand to hold his mouth together, and the cupboard overbalanced, fell right over, precipitating its occupant right at his father's feet, and the bottles everywhere. "I didn't, I haven't, 'twasn't me, wasn't my fault," he howled, backing towards the door. "Hoo-yah, boo-hoo, Esther, boo-yah, Judy, As might be expected, his father had picked up a strap that lay conveniently near and was giving his son a very fair taste of it. "'Twasn't me, 'twasn't my fault, it's Pip and Judy, pantomime, boo-hoo, you're killing me, I was only doing to please, to please you." His father paused with uplifted strap. "And that's why all the others are behaving in so strange a fashion, just for me to take them to the pantomime?" Bunty wriggled himself free. "Boo-hoo, yes, but not me. I didn't, I never. Tris, Faith, oh, it wasn't my fault, it's all the others. Oh, hit them the rest. He got 3 more smart cuts and then fled howling and yelling to the nursery, where he fell on the floor and kicked and rolled about as if he were half killed. You sneaks, he sobbed, addressing the others, who'd flown from all parts at his noisy outcry. You mean pigs! I had no foul, and I had all the beating. You sneaks! Oh, I'm bleeding all over. I know. They couldn't help laughing a bit. Bunty was always so irresistibly comic when he was hurt ever so little. But still, they comforted him as well as they could and tried to find out what had happened. Esther came in presently, looking very worried. Well, they said in a breath. You really are the most exasperating children, she said vexedly. But the pantomime! Quick, Esther, have you asked him? They cried impatiently. The pantomime? He says he would rather make it worth Mr. Rignall's while to take it off the boards than that one of you should catch a glimpse of it, and it serves you very well right. Meg, for goodness sake, give baby some dry clothes. Just look at her. And Judy, if you have any feeling for me, take off that frock. Bunty, you wicked boy, I'll call your father if you don't stop that noise. Nell, take the scissors from the General. He'll poke his eyes out, bless him. The young stepmother leaned back in her chair and looked round her tragically. She'd never seen her husband so thoroughly angered, and her beautiful lips quivered when she remembered how he had seemed to blame her for it all. Meg hadn't moved. The water was trickling slowly off baby's clothes and making a pool on the floor. Bunty was still giving vent to spasmodic boos and hoos. Judy was whistling stormily, and the General, mulct of the scissors, was licking his own muddy shoe all over with his dear little red tongue. A sob rose in her throat. 2 tears welled up in her eyes and fell down her smooth, lovely cheeks. 7 of you, and I'm only 20, she said pitifully. Oh, it's too bad. Oh dear, it's too bad.